Salakia call came through. But no, so basically, as he mentioned, foreign troops. Okay, now it says armed migrant gang infiltrates New York City. All right, now I have yet to watch this video, but nonetheless, it's been reported that these men have been, these are military age men, okay, and found out that Venezuela pretty much released pretty much all the inmates from out of prisons, and they're on their way. If not, they're already here in America. So it's just a matter of time. When the power gets cut, hey, don't be surprised, like when all hell break loose, like they showed you in the purge, when people wasn't purging enough, then all of a sudden they send particular soldiers disguised as gangs into Staten Island to kick off the purge. So don't be surprised that these people that look like gang members are actually military personnel being disguised as gangbangers, because it's going to be too obvious for you to see blue hats and white vehicles policing the streets. People there's going to be a whole nother ordeal. Like, wait a minute, man. What the hell they doing over here? But they already here. Okay, and I'm going to get into this video once I'm done with this, but it's funny. It's so funny that he mentioned this back in 96. So this has been in the works for all you jakes out there that seem to think this is conspiratorial. No, this is actually facts, man. They putting it in the movies, and they don't put things in movies for entertainment if you have the eyesight to see it.
The only thing standing in the way of a new world order. We have foreign troops on the ground now, under the UN banner. The country only needs a little chaos.
The American people are resilient. What's to come if the citizens rise up?
These fucking people weren't resilient, man. If they were so resilient, they would have been, I guess you mean resilient and docility, because, I mean, if anything, they ain't roused up. I don't know why they not roused up. But these people are not resilient. They are far from it.
Yes, well, when parents see their children starving and families hauled away to FEMA camps for imprisonment or worse, then yes, we expect some resistance at first. But the vanity of nationalism will quickly fade. The people will beg for help. Any help.
And that help is going to come in the form of that micro C hip, because that's going to be the savior to bring things back to quote unquote normal. Okay, so look here. It reads. Now, like I said, I don't know if this is Kazak's hand. I don't think he had this in his hand. I don't know where you've gotten this. This may have been like a clip from a book or something like that. I don't know. I mean, if the brother's watching the video, he can kind of answer it, or, you know, whatever he did. Because this was a couple of years ago that we ran into this. And the brother who I got it from even stated that he saw this a few years ago from the elder brother. So, and it reads, it says, final warning to my fellow Americans: as evidence of martial law declaration approaches, I am repeatedly publishing this soaring alert to my fellow Christians and fellow American patriots. Martial law is inevitable at this time. Yeah, it's already set up for it. They just wait on a perfect crisis. And it says, in fact, we see the clear signs of the beginning of the NWO takeover, is what this guy was talking about in the movie, in the video. Moreover, NWO takeover, even now, as foreign troops flood our nations everywhere. Remember the borders? They coming through Texas, then, you know, Cali, Arizona. You know, they coming through the southern borders, man. They being flown over here, and found out that Biden, I think, flew over so many hundreds of thousands, if not I think hundreds of thousands of these refugees from Gaza over here on private planes. So you even got those people. Everybody is over here, but it's all the divine judgment of the Lord, because all these people that's coming over here, if they're not of the elect, they're going to be destroyed. You see? So there's going to be a lot of people that's going to get hit with the missiles, man. But it says, I've explained for 18 years now the horrors that innocent men, women, and children will face in both the FEMA prison boxcars and the FEMA DHS camps, which stands for Department of Human Services, I believe, camps. It says, I tell you, it will be brutal, rape, torture, and death. This is biblical, okay? This is coming to the Israelite woman and the Israelite man and you other nations and you Edomites. And it's definitely coming for you harlots out here, you independent women. It says there would be brutal rape, torture, and death once they start arresting the Christians, which is Christians is another word of saying Israelites, all the other NWO resistance under martial law, CIA insider, It says the horrors of the camps includes human experimentation, body organ harvesting, satanic human sacrifice, torture, and mind control. Um, Let me see if I can find that paragraph. Yep, human sacrifice, torture, mind control, and more. Okay, it says, remember, the NWO is Lucifer's kingdom, which they don't understand the word Lucifer. Lucifer just means light bearer. Okay, say the Illuminati or Satan's kingdom on earth, and the Bible declares that the final end of Esau's NWO is utter destruction at the hands of an angry power and his elect, who shall rule the nations with the rod of iron. Okay, because this thing is all about the elect. Okay, it says you are under neither moral nor spiritual obligation to meekly surrender your American heritage, personal weapons, or food supplies. Basically, because they're gonna come in and they're gonna confiscate everything, man. So this is where we're at with this. All right, so let's get into the precepts, man, because Jeremiah basically saw this and he actually prayed that this will happen to you, wicked Jakes, because you got Israelites out there playing around, they worshiping like Nate. This guy, he's the biggest idolater. Well, they worship Nate like he's Yahweh Shai, man. And not one person in the IUIC is telling you about what the things to come. But yet, this man can ride and pass over on a horse. He can come with extravagant garments, and everybody is bowing down to Nate. But he's not warning them about Jacob's trouble, man. Because basically what they're explaining in this clip I show in that paper is Jacob's trouble. Okay? Jacob's trouble. And it reads here, this is the book of Jeremiah 18, and I'm going to start at verses 19. It says, give heed to me, O Yahweh, and hearken to the voice of them that contend with me. It says, shall evil be recompensed for good? It says, for they have digged a pit for my soul, but remember that I've stood before thee to speak good for them, and to turn away thy wrath from them. Therefore deliver up their children to the famine, and pour out their blood by the force of the sword. And how is that going to be with these martial law troops, man? Okay, and let their wives be bereaved of their children, because remember he stated that their kids are going to be taken to FEMA camps, and once the kids are afflicted, that's when the emotional sentiment is going to kick in. Because one thing about this society, they are very, very sensitive on the emotions of women and children. Okay, when it comes to women and children, that will literally bring this kingdom to its knees when kids are getting kidnapped and tortured in these FEMA camps. Because see, that's what they don't show you in movies. You see, they don't show you kids getting the judgment in these movies for the most part. Some movies they do, but not compared to what's happening. Okay, usually when you like in The Purge, you didn't see kids out there. It was just all adults getting got, but realistically, it's more women and children here than men, So what happens when all the men die off? Hey, those women and children are going to be left to fend for themselves. So it's getting ready to get real bad, man. And all you twerk queens out there, you turn up queens and kings and goblins and goons and all you jakes out there that's playing games with the Heavenly Father's word, hey, they sitting back in there watching you, man. Okay, they're moving in your neighborhood, they're moving in your apartment buildings. It's like the Samoan people that I think they've been around for about a year, but it's like a I don't know if they're Israelite or Venezuela, but it's some people that moved in. I want to say probably like a couple of months ago, and I'm noticing they outside now, and it's like they got kids and stuff. But I noticed it's like a couple of guys and stuff like that, and sometimes they just sit out front on the porch, man. And I've been noticing them from quite some time, and I've never seen them before. Same thing when I go to the markets and stuff like that, to the stores, I'm seeing all different types of people, which we already had a mass influx of Hamites up here. But even though it's starting to look real different, even the gym I work out at, I'm starting to see older men work out, look like Edomite men. And back in my mind, I'm like, they got to be ex-military or something. And then I'm seeing, Northern Kingdom work out at the gym that I'm at. But prior to Title 42 expiring, I didn't see these things, So I'm like, it got to be something going on here, And they're literally right in your neighborhoods. They're sleeper cells, and they're waiting to be activated. Okay, and they're watching you people, okay? And they're watching you, and they're watching you not watch them, because they know that the American people don't pay attention to nothing but their damn cell phones, all right? But it says here, therefore deliver up the children to the famine and pour out their blood by the force of the sword, and let their wives be bereaved of children and be widows, and let their men be put to death. Let the young men be slain by sword in battle. When a war is coming to the shores of America, man, okay, the form of a civil war. which Esau is so hard and desperately trying to do. Okay, we got a movie coming out next week called Civil War, and I encourage every brother and sister in this thing to go see that, man. Go see it twice if you have to. But these are the times we in. And noticing when they're putting these things in movies, it ain't too much longer until they manifest. You know, it ain't like this movie that came out in 96 and all of a sudden the signs of it you see in 2022, 2020. Nah, man, like, what's that movie, Mahershala Ali, Leave the World Behind? We're literally seeing spickers of that movie play out today, like literally months later. A movie was just released in December, which is roughly 4.5 months ago, and we're seeing it play out right now. So, hey, it's looking like they can have some type of civil war or some type of infighting in this country before the next election. Okay, something is gonna go down. Don't know what, but we can speculate, but we have to wait and see. But it says, let a cry be heard from their houses. Why? Because when them doors get kicked in, guns blaze, flashbangs, dogs, Black Hawk helicopters, they shooting grenade launchers at your apartment buildings, graping your women, your kids, and graping men. Okay, men ain't exempt from getting graped, especially you metrosexuals out there. But it says, let a cry be heard from their houses when thou shalt bring a troop suddenly upon them. For they have digged a pit to take me and hid snares for my feet, man. So it says troop. Look up what the word troop means, because troop goes into the word God. Okay. It says a band of troops, a marauding band, a raiding band, troop, band, divisions of armies, foray or raid. Okay, so Jeremiah prayed this will happen to you wicked ass Jakes, man, because Jake just don't take heed, and Jake is in a spirit of folly and of madness. And it says, yet Yahweh, thou knowest all their counsel against me to slay me, but forgive not their iniquity, neither blot out their sin from my sight. But let them be overthrown before thee, and deal thus with them in the time of thy anger, because this is the time of the Lord's anger, man. Okay, known, aka Jacob's trouble. Okay, this is the book of Jeremiah 30, and I'm gonna start at verses 4. And it reads, it says, and these are the words of the Heavenly Father spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah, which is the 12 tribes. It says, for thus says Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Okay, because it's gonna be totally chaotic out here, man. Okay, everywhere you run is going to be some type of fighting, shooting, screaming, murdering, fires, military men. Bridges are getting blown. Like, we speculate bridges are getting blown to trap people in, and also we expect that they're shutting down the global supply chains, commerce. Like Kansas City, in order for you to get to North Kansas City from South KC, they got to blow the bridges, or you got to go across a bridge, because what separates North KC from South KC is the Missouri River. Okay, you got North Kansas City, then you got the south of Kansas City. So if you on this side and they blow the bridge, ain't no way in hell you gonna get across to the other side unless you swim across the river, which I don't think you want to do that. Or you won't make that swim. But it says here, ask ye now and see whether men doth travail with child. So since when do men have children? Wherefore do I see every man with his hand on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces turned into paleness. But alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he should be saved out of it, man, okay? So Jacob's trouble is another way of what the Christians call the Great Tribulation, okay? And that's going to be upon our people, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and the other nations too, because for the simple fact, we all in this shithole together, so to speak. All right, so yeah, brothers, man, it's getting ready to get real graphic out here real soon, and this is why we're warning Jake to prepare their mindsets, man, because hey, Jake, they play too many games, So this is the book of Luke 19, and I'm gonna start at verses. Yep, this is the book of Luke 19. And I'm going to start at verses 40. It says, and he answered and said it to them, I tell you that if these shall hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out. And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, if thou hast known, even thou, at least in this thy day, the things which belong unto thy peace, but now they are hidden from thy eyes, because 70 AD is getting ready to come back on a broader scale. Okay, this version of 70 AD is going to make the first version look like a picnic, man. Because this time they gonna put that sea hipping people. But it reads here and it says, "For the day should come upon thee, that thy enemy should cast a trench about thee and compass thee around and keep thee in on every side." Meaning they're gonna block off your entrances. This is why they're blowing bridges too. Well, I speculate this is why they're blowing bridges, because for the simple fact, they don't want anybody getting out of this place. It was a video that came out of this ex-CIA guy telling people that they plan on leaving America, do it before 2030. And it's 2024 now. So if you plan on getting out the country, you better get out now. All right? And don't come back. But it says here, and it says, "For the day should come upon thee, that thy enemy should cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee in on every side. And they should lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they should not leave thee in thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation." So this is another way of saying the military is going to roll on you, and they're going to go door to door, and they're going to put you to death. Okay, and those of you that escape, you getting thrown in the FEMA camps. Like you would rather die than putting you down on the spot before they take you to one of their death camps, because they take you to a death camp, then that ain't gonna end well for you 2/3 out there. Nor is it gonna end for you guys that call yourselves Israelites that's been playing games. Like people at the IUIC, people at the ISUPK, those men that haven't repented, like Sakari, those guys, them men, they're gonna get tortured brutally, okay, because they didn't make Yahweh Shai their habitation. You know what I'm saying? Now, some of them brothers gonna repent because you got some brothers of the elect, but for the most part, they don't see what's coming, so they're gonna get caught off guard. Okay, like this guy Nate, he mentioned a while ago, oh, that wasn't gonna be no Jacob's trouble. So when you teach that, your congregation is not prepared to deal with that. So what happens is when things like this go down and they get locked up and thrown into prison, you're going to be susceptible to any type of rigorous punishments and torture. And you Jakes ain't ready for that, But the men of the Lord that get thrown in these predicaments, you got some brothers that are going to go through that, that's going to get psychologically tortured, a couple of stripes here and there, and ultimately guillotine. But it ain't going to be nowhere on the line what you people going to get, man. Okay, because you guys out there, you ain't taking heed to the warning. All right? So this is the book of 2nd Ezra 16, and I'm going to start at verse 17. It says, woe is me, who would deliver me in those days, right? Because it's going to be that bad. It's not going to be the power. It's not going to be any heat. The food is going to be scarce, okay? And Lord forbid they do this shit in the dead of the wintertime, man. Because when this go down, let's just say the selection is in November, and they decide to hit the country with the EMP. You better believe that Esau was going to use his HARP program to totally destroy the weather, man. Like we had back in January, we had like that 5 days of it was just unreasonably cold. So just imagine that, and you have no heat in your house, no food, no shelter, no nothing, you living on the streets. Okay, you want to go to a shelter, you're going to have to get the MOTB, so it sets itself up perfectly. But it says the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, in the beginning of evils. But what should I do when these evils come? Okay, and that's a question. We all say that. I said, man, I pray to Yahweh Shai protects us in that day, man, because we gonna need all the protection we need. Because if you don't have the protection of the Lord, you're not gonna make it, because this place is getting ready to fall. Then it says, and behold, famine and plague and tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. But for all these things they should not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of their scourges. But behold, victual should be so good cheap upon earth that they should think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. Okay? So right now it's nothing but confusion, nothing but madness, man. And it says here, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Because you got people out here that got bunkers, Okay, we see it all the time, which I believe a lot of these guys, redacted, full spectrum survival, what's this guy's name? Glenn Beck, and just to name a few, Canadian preppers, man. I think a lot of these guys are really CIA agents, man. I believe they're controlled opposition, and I believe through the spirit that they're setting up these platforms to expose themselves to see who's against the NWO so they can target people, okay? Because ain't nowhere in hell they putting out the information we putting out, and have fact that these things are happening, but yet YouTube doesn't shut them down. I mean, right there's a red flag, and I'm looking at these videos like redacted, and yeah, they give out some damn good information. But I'm looking at the comments, and these people are really giving themselves away, saying, man, I got this, I got that, I'm prepping this and this and that. And the FBI just sitting back taking notes on all you clowns, man. And why Natalie and Clayton Morris is sending you up to the river to be fed by the sharks, they ain't gonna be around because you know what? They're insiders. That's why they know what they know. All them people they invite on their shows, they are all insiders. Okay, those people ain't just some regular patriots. These people got some tied to some type of military or some type of government agency to be a psyop. They're CIA agents, man. Okay? That's why they know what they know. And the reason it says, and the dead should be cast out as dung, and there should be no man left to comfort them. It says, for the earth should be wasted, and the city should be casted down, and there should no man be left to till the earth and to sow it, because people are going to be dead. And the ones of them that ain't dead, they're going to be in those FEMA prisons, man. Okay, getting tortured, getting put down, getting beheaded. Like a good movie to depict that, it's a movie called Hostel. Okay, when the elites, it was a bunch of rich elites that paid for people to get kidnapped. And this is the shit they do on the dark web. They pay for people to get kidnapped just to watch them get tortured. And they get off on seeing people tortured to death. Okay, and that's going to be the fate for 2/3 of you Edomites, you heathens, you women, mainly. All you women, you going to get it in them camps. Okay, they going to grape you. They going to grape the life out your ass. They going to grape the spirit out you, man. Since you like to be naked, you like to, you women are overly sexualized here. So they gonna have you gonna meet your maker that day. This is why we tell you brothers, man, hey, watch these women, man. But I'm gonna go down a little bit because the whole chapter really gets good. But anyway, this started verses 68, and it reads, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they should take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered into idols, which is the micro sea hip. And they that consented to them should be had in derision and a reproach and trodden underfoot, because whether you opt in to them, they gonna get you anyway. For you other guys out there that know you're Israelites that's speaking against the MOTB and not teaching it, hey, you consented to that, you're gonna still be a reproach because the Lord is gonna get you. It says, for there should be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that feared the Lord. Okay, it says in every place, in the next cities, meaning Kansas City is going to be an insurrection. St. Louis, insurrection. Jeff City, insurrection. Columbia, insurrection. Chicago, insurrection. You know what I'm saying? Gary, Indiana, insurrection. New York, insurrection. LA County. You know what I'm saying? Chino, all these places, man. The Bay Area. This is why they have FEMA zones set up, man. And it says, and they should be like mad men, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. It says, for they should waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. And we're saying this happened. And they should know, and then shall they be known who are my chosen. And they should be tried as gold in the fire, man. Okay? So, hey, we coming to them times, man. We already there. Just a matter of time. But with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Lord, will you edify into the next lesson.